From Las Vegas, Sandy Kastel and friends.
Good morning, Las Vegas, and welcome to the Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. My goodness, we have a really full house today. So, Chef Michael, good morning.
Good morning, the best to you each morning.
Is this a cereal
KLV.
commercial?
Hey, a shout out to Joey D'Amiglio's wife who listens, the Grassos that count their money every day. I feel great today. I got to make an announcement.
That's
I got to make an announcement for all those callers today. We got a dais today that's amazing. We got the great Jimmy Melodor, Dick Kastel. Sandy's going to mention everybody. And we got a lot of talking to do, a lot of fun. Now see John Stewart. He's right up my gazoo. He's here every day. And we're going to have a lot of fun. So those, for today, I'm going to ask those, please don't. I want you to call in.
Call in.
And give your name. You'll get the show tickets. But I won't be able to give any recipes today for anybody.
But what they can do,
right.
Michael, they can call 702-731-1230. That's 702-731-1230. And leave your name and phone number with Tim, our engineer. Hi, Tim. How you doing?
Yeah.
And then leave the recipe that you want to ask Chef Michael about, and he will call you back this afternoon.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And give you the recipe, okay? And then you will also get your free special tickets. John's taking care of the chairs over there. But we've got a lot of great tickets. In fact, we have comp tickets to the tribute show to the Temptations tonight.
Saturday night only.
Saturday night only for June the 7th.
The Temptations. That's for 4 people.
For the first person who calls in at 702-731-1230. 702-731-1230. Yeah, Dad wants to call in.
Right.
So anyway, we have a full house today, as I was saying, and our special guests are Don Burton with the tribute to the Temptations.
Yeah, Don.
We have Jeannie Bry, who sings all the time at the Italian American Club. Hi, Jeannie. How you doing?
Hi, Sandy.
We've got Doug Douglas, who has a lot of stories to tell us. He's been in theater a long time, and he brought Don with him today. Hi, Don. Doug.
Hi,
how you doing? You're going to have to speak up,
He's
Doug.
nervous, honey.
And then we have Dick Kastel, of course, my dad, who's a great jazz saxophonist. And, of course, I'm not only prejudiced, but, you know, I hear from a lot of other people how great he is. Hi, Dad.
Hello there.
Hi, how you doing? And then also we have the legendary jazz man, Jimmy Melodor, who has, in fact, Jimmy, hi, how you doing?
Hi, Sandy. How are you?
Good. In fact, when I told my dad that you were going to be on the show, that's the only reason he said he would be here today. Not for me,
he loves
but for
the brown
you.
nose. He's been doing that for years, but I always hire him.
In fact, he said he met you when he first moved to town back in 1963.
When is that?
This 63? Oh my gosh, that was a long time
Sandy, I
ago.
want you to know that Jimmy Melodor is one of my own people. He's Barres.
He's Barres.
Yeah, it's Brutzes, Calabrese like you. He's Brutzes, Calabrese, and you're mostly mayonnaise. But anyway.
Provincia di
Wait,
Potenza.
what do you mean? And then, of course, we have the inimitable Johnny Stewart.
Morning.
Good morning.
Dirty son of a...
All those wild show tickets. We're ready to go.
I know. Well, listen, we've got to start off with at least one recipe from Chef Michael. And, I'm sorry. Yes, she's right. Pointing. Jeannie, you're pointing at me. How come I don't have your name in there? Kevin. Oh, that's because you changed your name on me. It's Kevin Scott, and he is a great magician.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, kid.
Oh, come on. You got to be a little
Magician
more
always gets
energetic.
left
Get
out.
up there, young
okay.
fellow.
It does get laughed at.
Left
Why?
out.
Left out? Why?
We make
I'm
it
just
disappear.
Oh, I
That's
see.
all.
I see, but also I know that you do a lot more than just being a magician.
That's correct. I
Yes, because I went on LinkedIn.
do. You did.
Yes, and I
you
saw
out.
that you have something to do with some health kind of...
Yeah, I've been in the sales and marketing for biotech pharmaceuticals.
There you go. So he's a serious guy, too.
Really? Well, that plug just cost you $200, kid, just so you know that.
So listen, we will give you one... You can give us one recipe this morning, Chef
Okay,
Michael.
something... This is for
Yes.
Jimmy Melodor, because he's
Okay.
one of my own. Pasta pizzelle. Oh, forget about it.
My mother.
Hey,
Oh.
Mommy, look at the black guy say, what is he talking about? So,
He said it's food.
it's food.
Pasta chichi.
Pasta cheat. The pasta pizzelle is very simple. I love it. My father, God rest his soul. What you do is you get your onion and your garlic and your oil and you saute it. Okay, put a lid on it. Make sure it caramelizes. Because if you leave the lid off, okay, it burns. Once it gets soft, once the garlic gets soft and the onions get soft, then you take the lid. When you see it caramelizing, you add a can, okay, of, you can use stewed tomatoes or regular diced tomatoes, not tomato puree. Okay, just a whole can of the tomatoes chopped. Put that in there, half a can of water. Now here's your spices that go in that. salt, pepper, parsley, okay, a little granulated garlic, and sweet basil. Now, the Italians, we call it
Basilica.
bazzanago, mannaggia America. And anyway, what you put sweet basil. Now,
And
you
I
can-
just call it basil.
How I ain't want to hail.
Hey.
So what you do is you put the sweet basil. Tim, don't let me punch you in the nose because there's a bunch of white people. We'll jump you.
And we'd lose. There's not enough.
I'm only kidding. So you put. You got me. I'm all screwed up now. What was I saying?
Come on,
Basil,
Basilica.
basil,
Go ahead.
basil.
So you put everything
A little
together.
basil in.
And here's the key: you open up a can of a Jolly Green Giant. Oh, mannaggia America. And you put the whole can of peas with the juice, and you cook it for 20 minutes, and then you get ditalini pasta. The ditalini is the short little macaroni. Okay, we say macaroni. We don't say pasta. We say macaroni.
Well, at least you don't say noodles.
My grandma forgets. She'll throw it right out of the house. And what you do is you boil that, the pasta, and then you pour that pasta basil over it, and with a little locatelli cheese. I got to tell you, it was a peasant meal. Pop, I know you're up in heaven watching. Thank you for that recipe. And that's it.
What time, Mike? What time are we
Well, listen, when you come to the birthday party, Jimmy, I'm telling you.
I don't want to wait that long. I want to come
Hey,
tonight.
but you don't have to wait that long, Jimmy, because June
Yes,
the
that's right.
21st, we have our WIMA meeting.
Tell 'em,
and
Jim.
WIMA is W-I-M-A, Women in Music and Arts, but also we have men. So we have women and men in music and arts, and we are a nonprofit organization empowering artists of all ages through education, mentoring, and scholarships. We have our next meeting the June the 21st. We've got the Chad Michaels Band. They're going to be playing. And then we've got a lot of people that are going to come and
Love
sit
to
in.
have you come down,
and,
Jimmy. We'll up the
and we
house.
even
You'll
like
have a bowl.
magicians
I got
coming
it.
in and sitting
What?
in, okay?
Got to be there?
Yeah, you're gonna have
You
a
got
great
my
time.
phone.
Yeah, Jeannie, so you're going to be there, right? June the 21st. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon till 3 in the afternoon, and it's going to be at Canyon Gate Estates.
Could I get in? I'm Italian. I live there.
And if you want to get
They
a
hate
ticket,
when I drive through.
yeah, it's just $25, but Chef Michael is cooking, and of course, it's always his authentic South Philadelphia cooking,
That's
and it
right.
is
And
absolutely marvelous.
And every time I drive through Canyon Gate, I wear a yarmulke. or I will not be able to get in.
Well, they do have a dress code, too.
Did you tell our sponsors? Because did we
Sponsors? No, I
Yes.
didn't get
I'm
there. Our
sorry.
sponsors are
Get him, Sam.
Resort Stay International, Salvation Army, Smith's Food and Drug on West Sahara and Durango, George L. Stewart for insurance you don't have to die to collect, Tony May, attorney at law, Royal Cleaners on Flamingo and Durango. And you know what? We also have a big event that's going to be coming up in September, the date to be announced.
Yes.
But it is going to be a big meatball cook-off,
Right.
right?
It's going to be it's going to be an Italian,
A
not an
meatball
Italian festival. It's
festival.
a festival. It's going to be right at Smith Food King.
That's
Naturally,
right.
we have Ronald McDonald. They're going to get with us, and it's going to be phenomenal. The only difference with this is every dime goes to charity, not in
That's right.
somebody's pocket. You hear what I'm saying out there?
That's right.
I don't want to mention no names, but everything goes in the
And
charity.
there's not going to be a charge for the
no
festival.
charge at
It's
all.
just a
It ain't
matter
no
of
$400 a sandwich,
No.
$38,000 to get in. None
they'll
of that.
just pay for the food they're
Just
eating,
the
and
food
of course,
and
you
the
know.
percentage of the food, because the people that have the booths, they give it to the charity.
That's
There'll be
right.
wine and beer. Okay, it's going to start from 11 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
And there's 4 prizes. The
It's an
first
all-day
prize,
affair.
the best meatball. So you people in radio and TV land, what you do is give us a call, because I want you to enter whatever meatball it may be, Irish meatball, Polish meatball, black meatballs with collard green and chitlin and with ground meat. Tim said, yeah, I'll be there.
No, his are going to be health food meatballs
Oh, that's
because
right,
he
health
is.
food meat- carrot
he's
meatballs.
a fighter. He's a fighter, and he's always in training. He's always walking around with his gallon jug of his lemon water.
Right.
And you've got a fight coming up August the 5th, right? That's right. And he is a mixed martial artist.
Whoa.
And he's
Whoa.
oh, and if you go to YouTube, you can
Mike.
find him, Tim Bowman.
Fool around with him.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he
mean,
said,
yeah, this
what
guy.
do you have? What's your name? What's the thing? Tai
Michael's
Chi?
going to grab him around the knees.
What's it
you know.
called? Muay Thai? Yeah, I got a thing called 38. Believe me, kid.
He said something about walking you to your car today.
What's that? Wow, is that how it is? Thanks, buddy. Well, you remember, you got the NACCP on your side, and I don't want Al Sharpton giving me a call. But remember, Melodor and I, we got the MAFIA Association, the Mothers and Fathers Italian Association. Ah, I got you, Jeannie.
Well, listen, Chef Michael,
Yes.
let's start with our guest. We've got Jimmy Molador. He is a legendary jazz man. And as I said, my dad and he go way back. Dad came here in 1963. He brought us all here. And he met Jimmy, and I guess you guys have known each other ever since.
Forever.
right?
I love this guy.
That's right. And you're a jazz saxophonist, but also you play a lot of different instruments.
Clarinet, flute, bassoon, English horn.
Right.
everything, all of it.
Well, now that's another story for another day. But you were born in Youngstown, Ohio.
Youngstown, Ohio.
So you're a Midwestern boy,
Well, yeah.
kind of, sort of.
But I lived in New York a lot, so I consider myself a New Yorker. And I call my band the Jimmy Mullado New York City Jazz Band.
Yeah, and then you hung out in Cleveland, the jazz clubs.
Yes,
a
I
lot
did.
when you were a kid in high school, and you were
Right,
playing with a
right.
lot of greats: James Moody, Miles Davis, Sonny Rollins, Clifford Brown.
That's right.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, yeah, a lot of greats. And of course you went to the Juilliard School of Music, so you
Not
learned
too
a
long
little
now.
bit.
That is a misleading thing because
Oh, is that?
I only went there 12 weeks. I didn't have enough money. So the reason I had to leave is I went there to
You went to work.
well, I was living in New York with my aunt. And hello, and anyway, I ran out of money. I couldn't afford it, but I did get in touch with the professor there, Hall Overton, and I studied with him forever. So it's like going to Juilliard.
Well, you got private education then with him.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
which is a one-on-one, which is sometimes is a lot better.
Right,
Because then they're going specifically for where your techniques are and where you need to improve, and of course what they,
Right.
and that way you can learn it even better. Well, when did you move out to Las Vegas?
1957.
Oh, so you were here just right before.
Yeah,
a few
I
years
came out here
before
with
you
a
came out
great
here.
bass player, Scott LaFaro,
Uh-huh.
and then I ran into a guy that was Jerry Dodgen was with the Red Norvo group at the Sands Hotel.
Oh my gosh. the
And he was
Sands.
going out to do a 12-week tour with the Air Force, and he says, I love the way you play. Would you like to take my place with the great Red Norvo, who was
Oh.
with Benny Goodman at that time?
Wow.
So the next night I go in there, and Red Norvo looked like a devil. He was about 6'5", with the mallets in his hand, and he was very mean.
Wow.
But, of course, he was there because of Frank Sinatra.
Oh.
And when he said, if you play loud, I'll run you out of here. And Frank Sinatra came in after the show, minus his rug. He took his rug off to come out in the lounge. He didn't care about the rug.
Oh.
Yeah, and then he had everybody, Elizabeth Taylor, Ava Gardner, Leo DeRocher, Eddie Fisher, and of all guys, Jerry Vale was singing in the lounge. He had hired him. And Frank didn't like
Don't
the way
ask my dad about Jerry Vale, okay?
Oh, okay. But Frank didn't like Jerry Vale, but he hired him anyway. So it was quite coming into town in 1957 and be there with Frank Sinatra in the lounge.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you were there at the beginning. Well, not really the beginning, but right around the beginning. Yeah,
Oh, yes,
right after
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, so
And then
that's
I
great.
Came back later to play with the Rat Pack in 1960, all the way to 68.
Yeah.
Then went over to the Hilton, which was the International. We opened up with Barbra Streisand.
I know. That was 1974, right?
No, the Hilton, the International opened in February 1969.
No, but Streisand wasn't there in that.
Yes, she was.
69? Oh, who was
Yeah,
in
we opened up with her
74?
in 1969.
Oh, 69.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little off. Well, I was young. What do I remember?
Wow, you're still young,
just
and
a
look how young
kid.
look how young your father looks. Hey, this guy
That's
looks
right.
great.
I know he's 84 years old, and he's
Yeah,
still
but-
going strong.
So he's,
I know. Listen, every time I get a chance, we do something with the big band. In fact, in December we did something over with 16-piece big band
Right.
over at Canyon Gate Country Club.
wow.
Yeah. So we keep him busy. Well, if you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show, and with Chef Michael
Yeah,
every Monday
yeah.
through Friday here
Yeah,
on
sure.
KLAV 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And we have so many great entertainers and magicians and performers and booking agents here today. Then we will be right back after a message from our sponsors.
That's
Don't
right.
go
That
away.
lady just got out of the bathroom. It's about time, lady. Now
Well, she's
don't
been waiting.
move. Don't touch that channel.
I never met a girl who makes me feel the way that you do. You're alright. Whenever I'm at Subex, my dreams will I say that you do. You're out of sight. Listen, baby, be my phone. Look out, baby, 'cause here I come.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. That was the tribute to the Temptations with Don Burton. Hi, Don. How you doing?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Good. That was fabulous. I know it was a long intro, but
It gets better.
but that's the kind of thing that you hear in those kind of bands,
That's true.
especially when it's a show band.
Right.
Yeah, which they do a lot of that dancing and everything together.
For
and
sure.
A lot of those great tunes together. So how'd you get your start?
You see this man standing right here?
Johnny
I hate to say
Stewart.
it, John
Johnny
Stewart.
Stewart.
Yes, sir. It started for me back in 1999.
Yep, you're awesome. You and your group, and you're even more awesome now.
Thank you, John. Thank you. So it started back in 1997. We did an audition for John Stewart and Legends in Concert, and the rest
Oh.
is history.
Wow, and how long have you been doing this?
Now we've been doing it about 19 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't keep a job, huh?
We've been really fortunate doing a tribute to the Temptations. It took us all over the world. We've been all over the world several times. We are regular in Japan and Australia, and and it's so great to come home. That's it. It's just great to be back here.
That's great. So now, what is your next show that you're doing? What are you
The
doing
next
now?
show we're doing for Doug Douglas. Doug is a great friend of ours. He's been with us since the beginning. I've known him for many years, and we're doing the Viva Las Vegas Event Center Saturday night.
Oh, you are,
Yes,
and that's where the show is. That's the tickets that we just gave away to Ruben, who was the first caller. Thank you, Ruben, for calling in. You've been a regular for us. Checking into the show. Yes, this ticket is for 4 people, and it's at the Viva Las Vegas Event Center, which is a wonderful new location. Yeah, and they've got a nice stage there.
Yes,
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to
haven't
see
had
it
a chance
yet,
to see
but
it.
I'm
He's
sure
like-
it is
he's
a wonderful
speechless.
place.
Whoa,
He
you
is
stumped him,
speechless. Oh
man.
my
No,
gosh!
no head
That-
shaking. You got to
it did
talk.
take
Radio.
much.
It is a
Whoa.
beautiful,
And this
elegant
is,
room.
yeah, those
Yes, it
tickets, this show is Saturday, June the 7th, so at 8 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. And where can they pick up these tickets? Do they just get them at the door, or can they
Get
go
'em at the door.
online?
You can also do reservations. It is such a plush supper club. It's only 6 weeks old, and it goes back to the old days.
I know, and this, you can call 702-384-0771, that's 702-384-0771, to make your reservation so that you can go see this Tribute to the Temptations this Saturday night. That should be a lot of fun. So now, you've been to a lot of places, like you said, to perform. What is your favorite place that you've ever performed, besides Las Vegas?
Besides Las Vegas, I like Japan.
Japan?
I really like Japan.
Yeah, I
We go
heard
over
it's
there
really
at
nice
least
there.
once a year. It's very nice. They treat us very well.
Where do you play in Japan?
And we play all over Japan,
Really?
from Tokyo to
Oh.
Ginza, Roppongi, all over Japan. We usually do about 6 different cities over there.
But now they understand what you're saying?
Of course, they don't
'Cause they
understand.
know the songs.
You know what? They know the songs. That's all they know. But that's all they need to hear. Music is universal, and when you put it together, it really comes out really.
And you're
nice.
not doing a lot of talking anyway.
Not a whole lot of talking.
You're
You're
just
right.
performing.
That's true.
Well, Johnny, how did you find this great band?
Well, these guys have been performing, and in fact, we're going to use them again with the Forever Young show that we're going to be doing.
This
for
Forever
Vegas
Young show
Follies.
is going to be a very long
Well,
show.
no, people are going in and out all the time. Everyone's on there for 3 or 4 weeks at a time.
I know.
So, and
Just
I've been
teasing
working
you.
with Doug Douglas also, who's now one sponsoring them over at the Viva Las Vegas Event Center, aren't you?
You've only been working 21 years with me, John.
Only
Okay,
21.
21
Oh, my
years.
gosh.
Get that microphone.
Yeah.
Okay, so 21 years with Doug Douglas, and these guys have been great. The Temptations actually was one of the finest acts that's ever was in Legends. The whole house just perked up and went crazy and just went nuts. And so these guys are fabulous. You don't want to miss this big show this coming Saturday night at
Well,
the
I'm
Event
looking
Center.
forward to it, Don, and I want to thank you for coming on the show today. Is there a website where they can find out more about you, Don Burton
Yes,
and
there
the
is.
Temptations?
Tribute to the Temptations.net.
TributeToTheTemptations.net.
Right.
Okay, so you can go there and find out more about where they're performing, and check them out this Saturday night at the Viva Las Vegas Event Center. Now, Doug, you've been around a long time too, booking bands, and you've been in the business for a long time. How many shows have you booked in the country and in the U.S. and around the world, I guess?
I figured it out the other day, and it was a total of 36 shows.
36 shows, oh my gosh. And now, did you know, who did you know that became famous, but you knew them before? Were there cast members that you knew that went on to later become famous?
Well, when we started out, we were going to a skating rink called the Oaks, and my friend would play piano. I would come in and pick out the street, and so at the Gaiety Theater in Old Portland, Oregon, we set up so we could get the money with our little jug that people threw in to go skating, and this little kid came across the street, and he said, hi. He said, I'm working across at the Gaiety with my uncle and my dad, and we're called the Will Maston Trio.
Oh.
So that's fine, and he said, you guys going to be here next week? And I said, yeah, it's a good corner. So the next week he came over, and we were talking, and he lit a cigarette. And he said, what are you doing? You're going to get us kicked off this corner. He said, I'm 23 years old. And that was Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh my gosh, with the Will Maston Trio.
Absolutely.
And you met him back then, my goodness. So what was your best contract ever that you booked?
I think the very best of all was the Manila Hotel in Manila, Philippines, because I got to stay 2 doors down from the MacArthur Suite, which was the famous General MacArthur Suite during World War II before he had to leave and go to Australia. And it's so historic. The tour through there is incredible. The machine gun bullets all around.
Oh my God.
From back in World War II. It really brings a sense of history.
Well, now, do you have another show coming up besides the Temptations right now? The
Nope,
tribute?
that's the only one, but then we'll be working with Art Vargas on the 21st.
Oh, okay.
Same venue, and this is such a plush supper club. I can't say that enough.
Well, the owners have done a really great job, and I know that they have a background in the industry. You know, one of the owners was in the show.
Ron DeCar, and he
Carr,
was
yes.
out at the famous show in the Tropicana.
That's right.
All those years. He sang for 14. He was a lead vocalist.
So he understands what kind of stage to put together for the artists. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a really great opportunity to go check it out. Viva Las Vegas Event Center this weekend, this Saturday, and check out the tribute to the Temptations. And you have a website also, Doug. Would you like to have the people go there to find out what you're doing?
Yeah, it's my given name, Glae, Scotch biblical name, Glay Douglas at yahoo.com.
GlayDouglas@yahoo.com.
Hey, Doug,
Wait, that's an email address.
Were you in the war?
Was I in the war?
Yeah.
Well, I tried to go in at 16 and a half years, but it was the Korean War. And
Oh, you weren't in the... well,
I
my
was-
father-in-law, my future father-in-law, Dick Kastel, he was in the war.
Castel.
Castel.
If you
I
didn't know
like
the
to
name,
say
Michael,
Castile.
it's Castel.
It's Castile. As Johnny Stewart would say, Castile.
I went to Washington, D.C., and they threw me out of that town. Then I went to Oregon up there for camp, and they threw me out of that town.
hey, that's my home state.
And then when I was in the Marines, they kicked me out of the Marines because I got grease on my thing, and I didn't do very well in the service.
You didn't do, but you were in the Army Air Force Band back in
Right.
Washington, D.C.
Well, they didn't have any airplanes there. I was in the Navy School of Music.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know why? Does
Well, I know
anybody...
because I was 2 weeks old when we flew from San Francisco all the way back to Washington, D.C. so we could be with Dad.
Well, do you know
That's
why
right.
we lost the war? Does anybody know why the Italian people lost the war?
The Italians.
Yeah, that's right. We only fought one day.
Yeah, I didn't even know
Never
you
let
knew
it-
that.
Do you know,
Never let a
Jimmy
day go
Malador,
by.
do you know the reason why, and you're Italian, that we lost the war?
I'd rather hear it from you, Michael.
Really, I'm glad you said that. Well, General Antonio Andolini,
Mannaggia.
right, he was...
Sounds
the
like a
Italians
plus.
fought one day, I swear to God. I told Sandy, we were in a board, I said, the Italian people, we didn't want to fight. We wanted to drink wine
right.
and fool around with broads. That's
right.
all we wanted to do in Italy. And eat macaroni. It was Mussolini. That was the
Mussolini.
son of Mussolini was the guy that wanted to go with Hitler. Make a long story short, Antonio Andolini...
Minga.
Don't let me punch you in the nose, Tim. You hit me.
Oh.
It's a 10-year enhancement. I'm a senior.
Well, it's the ring on your finger
Yes,
that
it
might
is.
cause
Yes,
damage.
and right. And I can say something else. Anyway, Antonio Andolini was the general, and he's up there, and we're losing, and we run out of ammunition. And Antonio Andolini said to the troops, the Italian, the Napolitans, bring up the shells. These guys brought up a box of Renzoni, and that's the reason why we lost the war. Hey, Joey Vespi, throw him out of here.
Joey Best. Imitation of Italian soldier. Don't shoot.
Oh, shoot.
And all this time, I thought it was the timer on the oven that went off. That got you.
Oh, who was that guy? Who was that guy? Johnny, where'd you bring
That
this
was
kid
Kevin
from?
Scott.
Everybody
yes.
left and went to dinner.
That was Jeannie Bryce. She had to squeeze in. All right, I'll
right.
keep quiet. Go ahead. What do you say?
I want to hear more from your future
You
father-in-law.
got to talk to the boss. I'm only Chef Michael. I mean nothing. I just get the bills every week.
Talk about your father.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny when I was looking for my dad's bio and I was going on the website to try to find stuff on him. There's not much on there because, you know, he's such a shy guy. He doesn't really, you know, put stuff out there. And,
Old Testament. That's
But you know, I've heard from other musicians because they talk about what he's done. And Dad, Michael, give him a microphone there.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
Don't hog the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I'm
you know.
I'm nothing.
Well, you
over
might
here.
want to. Yeah, Jimmy might want to keep his microphone and let him have.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
there you go.
yes, Dad.
Because I think they have things that they might want to talk about.
I'll go home.
From the olden days, you know, the olden days. What do you mean the olden days, yeah, you know, when you were just a little boy. Anyway, so you started out, I know you started out as a professional. I know we're going to have to take a break in a second, but we'll get started here. Dad started out when he was, 17 playing professionally with bands, right?
No,
in San Francisco.
16, I went to
Oh, excuse
Elko,
me.
Nevada.
16.
With
Elko,
a
Nevada,
bebop band.
from
They're
San
all dead
Francisco?
now. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, you grew up in San Francisco, born and
Yeah,
raised.
that's where I heard. This comedian was there. I never could figure out what the hell he was doing. He told his joke. He says, what he used to do in the summertime, he's smoking Gentiles into Florida. And I never knew what that was. And so when I went back to San Francisco, I applied for a job with a furrier, and the furrier says, are you a Gentile? I says, no, I'm Swedish. And that's when that's when I found out what a Gentile was.
Well, so you started playing with the bands then, and then I know that then you were in the Army well, it was called the Army Air Force Band, right? Because they
No. I was in the
What was
Army. They drafted me. I was in the Army.
Oh,
but
it was
they sent
the
me
Army.
The Army didn't like me, so they sent me to the Navy School of Music.
Well, what was the band you were playing in? The Navy Band?
Yeah, I played I was in the Army, but I was playing with the Navy band.
Oh, okay, and then that was back in Washington, D.C., and then you ended up in the Midwest, and you were playing with Jack Fina Orchestra, right?
Yeah, well, when I got out of the Army, I went back to San Francisco, and everybody forgot about me because I was gone for 2 years. And Jack Fina called me and says, you want to play lead alto with me? He says, I pays $115. I says, no, I don't think so. So then he found out I sang, and he called back and said, I'll give you 160. I said, okay. So I went with him, and then you came with us. Then we went to Mafia Place in Galveston, Texas.
Galveston. Okay, well, we're going to talk more about that when we get back after this brief message from our sponsors. If you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael here on KLAV Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll be right back.
I'm still here. Nobody cares.
They're calling.
Make me blue. No stalling, I'm falling.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. That was Jeannie Bry. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful sound
yeah,
on
Jeannie,
that.
put
Yes.
that.
That was actually produced by Ann Parenti for her latest CD, so
Oh,
it's on
it
her
was.
CD.
Oh,
yeah.
well, that's great. I'm glad to hear
That
it.
plug just cost you $300.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so Jeannie, you're playing at the Italian American Club with
Tomorrow
the
night, yeah.
Speakeasy Swingers.
Indeed. I have a wonderful 7-piece swing band. And I was just telling Don, my saxophonist turns 93 this year and was with the Treniers for 55 years and toured with Louis Armstrong for 3 years before that. His first gig in Vegas, 1947. There was like 3 hotels on this trip in those days.
Jeannie, did you know that Don Hill and the Treniers gave me my break in Las Vegas because I was singing with Carmen McRae in Atlantic City, and they used to come and see my show with my act. And the Treniers said, Mike, Cliff, God rest their soul, and Skip, they said, if you ever come to Vegas, kid, look us up. And they were playing at the Marina Hotel, and they got me up on stage every single night and sit in. And them days, you didn't sit in. It ain't like the lounge shows is like here. Those days, they were shows. Freddie Bell, the Vagabonds. There was a show.
Yeah.
But they brought me up to perform every night, and the entertainment director was in the audience, Calbanzo Sanzalino from Chicago. Anyway, make a long story short, and I got my break, and I thank the Treniers because they're the ones that done that to me. And Don Hill was he was the best.
Well, they actually gave me my break in Vegas, too. My very first gig, I moved here from New York City after 9 years in New York. And I had been with the American Tap Dance Orchestra there. I had performed at the Cotton Club in Harlem with the American Tap Dance Orchestra and all sorts of stars, Ginger Rogers, all these people, and Gregory Hines. And I moved to Vegas. My very first gig, Harry Siebold booked me to open for the Treniers and Sweet Louie at the Moulin Rouge. So I tell people I have to be the only white chick in America that's played the Cotton Club in Harlem and the Moulin Rouge in Vegas. and the cool thing is, I love to do naughty material that the early black women did on the race records in the teens and 20s. Sophie Tucker, Mae West is how you know it, but Ida Mae Cox and those ladies, they were the ones putting it down. I mean, it wasn't just, James Brown that got stolen from, you know what I mean? Because they were doing it back in the teens and 20s, putting out race records, and I love that stuff. It's so dirty, and it's fun to do in a show, because it's dirty in a fun way, because it's double entendre.
Now, is this some
and
of the
it's
material
not-
that they can see at the Italian American Club?
Well, we keep it pretty clean there.
okay.
Although I will throw in, a little Mae West or a little Sophie Tucker
That's
there
good.
because I do Doris Day, obviously,
Right.
and a lot of other big band stuff. Because my 7-piece band, I've got awesome guys. I've got Charlie Schaefer on piano and Don Hill on saxophone. And,
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
Charlie's good.
it's just I have Paul Testa from the Sorta Dixie Jazz Band on drums. I have Bill Bailey on bass. I have Bobby Scan, who's been in town forever, open for, his first gig in Vegas was with Elvis. And I have Bill King on trumpet. So we have an
Bill's
absolutely
good. Yeah, he's worked with
amazing
us
band.
before. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
and
Jeannie,
Bill
you have
Band
a
is awesome.
Jeannie, you have a website where people can find out more about you.
TheSpeakeasySwingers.com. But we recommend going to Facebook because that's where I do my most updating is at Facebook. So,
Well, that's
but yeah,
good.
the Jazz and Jeannie Bry and the Speakeasy Swingers, we're on Facebook. And I want to mention one thing about their gig. The Vivas Las Vegas Event Center has parking right outside the door, and it's free.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the Italian
And it's
American
on
Club.
Las Vegas Boulevard.
You don't have to walk through a casino. You don't have to park. You don't have to like be in a parking garage. It's a beautiful place right on the boulevard between Charleston and
That's
Oakville.
right.
Mine is right on Saharan Eastern northeast corner. It's very close. It's just 3 miles from the Strip. But it's lovely for older folks that don't want to walk for miles.
That's right. That's right.
That'll cost me $300.
Well,
you know,
thank you, Jeannie. I want to thank
Jeannie,
you for
yes.
being on the show today because, you've been on the show before. You're a WEMA member, and you're always out there, and you're doing a lot of charity work, too, for other things and other opportunities.
The Spirit of 45 was really fun. We did a
Yeah.
Rosie the Riveter show, and I said to the producer, I'm like, where's Sandy? She should be in this.
She's home with me, sweetheart, rolling
You keep
meatballs.
her-
Hey,
you're
hey,
keeping her
hey,
She's
busy.
rolling meatballs
Yeah.
and making brajol.
That's right. And in fact, Dad, I think when we were doing the thing with the WEMA girls, we did that 2 years ago. In fact, when that was when Ann Parenti was part of WEMA, and before she went off, and she got the idea from WEMA about doing this recording that she did with the book and the CD, and with all the girls and performers that she put on.
Oh,
that.
the
That was a
CD
great
is
show.
absolutely beautiful.
And then Dad, we did the big band thing over at the E String, where we had some of the WEMA members come and sit in. Remember that, Dad?
Oh yeah, we made $32 a piece.
That's right. Yeah,
That's Henderson.
unfortunately, I know. That's what you get with a 16-piece big band today, It's hard to get them all in, yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to my future mother-in-law who's listening right now. Now, I want to be real quick.
Joanne.
Joanne, we're out there because it's our birthday on the 5th. I'll be 62. My mother will be 107.
Hey, that's not a good way to give a shout out.
Give a He's got a young bride.
He has a younger. She's 14 years younger than he is. What are you talking about?
Well, let me say
Yeah.
something right now.
And also, don't forget you're penciled into the will, so you got
That's
to be
right.
very nice.
Well, while we're on the air, take a look in that camera, Dad, right there. You know I'm going to marry your daughter, so I'm going to have time. As soon as she signs your prenup, we're getting married, okay? Because no one's taking my cookbook.
Yeah.
Now, Dad, everybody's watching him. There's 90,000 listeners.
Uh-oh.
I talked to Zena yesterday. She's supposed to juice me in. Am I in the will or am I out?
It's in pencil.
What will?
You have to speak to my wife about it.
I love you, Mom.
That's right,
I love
that's
you,
right,
Mom.
that's right.
Mamma sono potete American zote, mamma.
Well, Dad, Dad, you've been on some other albums with some artists too, just like Jimmy. I was reading about all the different albums that you've been on, Jimmy. You've been on a lot of albums.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh, throughout the years.
Streisand, Elvis, and they were,
Yeah.
so many albums.
And I know you met Joe Gershio was at the Hilton before, and then you became
I became the
afterwards,
musical
then you became
director,
the
yes,
musical director
yeah.
there. And then Dad, you were on some other albums too, but
Well, Vic DeMola, they imported me from Reno to go down to San Francisco to do because he wanted oboe, English horn, flute, bass flute, and everything. So I went down there and did an album with him, and it happened to be that was a heat wave in San Francisco. It was 102 degrees, and we recorded at a club that had no air conditioning.
oh no,
And we had a tune-up every 2 seconds.
because everything kept going out of tune. Right. Well, you worked with a lot of the performers, a lot of the same performers that Jimmy worked at the hotels. You were at the Frontier Hotel for, 20 years?
No, not 20 years. I'm not that old.
Oh, yes, you were.
I was there for quite a while.
I really know nothing. You can tell. I know nothing about
But
my
I want
father.
to tell you, one of the best jobs I ever had
Yes.
was Jimmy called me, and he says, hey, you want to go back east with do a rock and roll thing? I got an 18-piece. We just play jazz, and we bring it back there.
Uh-huh.
They flew us out there. They gave us private rooms. They fed us, and we made union scale.
Thank you very much.
Of all things, and it was
Thank
the
you very
greatest
much.
job I ever worked.
See?
It was unbelievable.
See?
And the very next year we were going to go again, but some cutthroat in town said, hey, I'll write the arrangements for nothing, and I'll do this, and I'll do that for less money.
That's
We
Las
lost the job.
Vegas.
We lost the job.
And that was Lenny Martin.
Oh, no. Sandy, I'd like to add
Sure.
one of the great recordings I did was with Louis Armstrong.
Oh.
And we did it at the old United Recording when they had that railroad track problem when the trains would come while you were recording.
Uh-huh.
And it was a wonderful world with Louis Armstrong.
Oh my
So,
gosh,
yes.
oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Tremendous.
Well, I know, Jimmy, you have a website. It's called jimmymulidore.com.
Right,
That's
right.
JIMMYMULIDORE.com. And so you can go there and find out what Jimmy's doing, what he's done in the past. And, you're going to spend a lot of time at his website. And because there's so many songs and so many CDs and music, things that you can listen to.
Biography coming out.
Yes.
The Vegas Player.
I know. Oh, that's right. You're doing that. And you
Yeah.
said that Dad's in that, right?
Yes.
He's got,
Well, he's in that video looking
in
back.
the video, looking back, yeah.
He won't come over and watch it. I'm trying to get him to come over and watch it, but
Yeah, well,
he
we'll
doesn't
get
get
him
out.
to
My wife says she doesn't want me to watch.
You know, Jimmy, I
Bravo.
want to give a shout out to our Sandy and I's very special friend, Gil Cohen, because it was
Gil.
through
Oh.
Gil Cohen. He gave me a phone call.
That's
and
right.
said, "Mike, do me a favor." And naturally, when the rabbi calls, I must I must bow
Gil,
to the
great,
king, because if
Gil.
it wasn't for him, I would never get in Canyon Gate. He sponsored me. No one. He said, "Mike, I want to put Jimmy Melodore on," and I said, "Who the hell's Jimmy Melodore?"
Come on, man.
I'm busting. I'm busting.
You're busting my coyun, man. Not till about that.
And I said, "Oh, are you kidding me?" I said, "I'd love to have him." So Sandy said it would be so nice to have her dad, and I never met, we are passing because it was 3 years,
Right.
but in the green room, I walked in and I shook your hand and we just connected within seconds.
Instant.
Well, maybe it's that Italian thing,
Honey, I got to tell you something. The Italian people are funny,
Yeah,
Italian
either
people,
they don't or they do,
like
right.
you off the bat,
That's
or
right.
They don't.
Or they
right.
don't. It
That's
ain't like
right.
saying just because you're Italian, like Tim's
Well,
not
now
Italian,
you know.
that's why
Wait
I
a
lost
minute. Wait a minute. I got to tell you that I've got a little Italian in me too. Because not a baby. No. But
Major
my
announcement
dad. I got to tell you, my grandfather told me, and Dad denies this, but. Dad, he told me that we were really Italian because when your great-great-grandfather came over, he said that the name was Castellano.
Yeah, he did know what he was talking about.
But he said they shortened it to Kastel with a K. And I said, yeah, but all my life they've always been spelling it with a C instead of a K. So I figured it must be true because I've always, loved Italian food.
Well, I think it was Spanish. I think it was mainly Spanish. We're
Come
Swedish.
on, Dick, don't say
We're
Spanish.
Swedish, Irish, French, Scots, German, and
Better say Italian.
Spanish Gypsy.
And Italian.
You got
Anyway.
a personality like a giant.
I was
If
raised
you-
by Italians.
All right,
And
so
your
if
daughter has a great personality.
Sandy, don't
That's
forget,
right.
we got John Stewart because he's
Yeah.
got something he wants to say.
I know, but we've got to take a quick break here, folks. We've got to. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show, and sometimes I get to be in charge with Chef Michael.
You
here.
can be in charge
And
when they
we
give me the
are
bill.
going-
I'll give it to you.
And we are going to be right back after a message from our sponsors with Kevin Scott, the magician, and also very talented gentleman.
Di tu cielo stavo gambarozza, di già produrre fantasia, quando lo stia tutta vita.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. Oh my gosh, it's been such a pleasure to have all of our guests on today, and especially, just to have everybody here together, and my dad and Jimmy Mulidore and Ginny Bry and Doug Douglas and Don Burton, and then also we have here, and Johnny Stewart, of course, and we have Kevin Scott. And now, Kevin, you go also, you used to go by Goins. I guess there's I just want to get this in because I know there's a lot of information out there on you in both names.
Sure. So Goins is my last name.
Okay.
And generally when I perform, I just go by Kevin Scott. 'Cause
That's
Scott's
the
my
trick.
middle name, and it just rolls a little easier off the tongue.
And so when and where did you get started in magic?
So I'm originally from North Carolina, and I grew up going to Florida, where my grandparents lived. And at Disney, they had a magic shop, and that's where I started. I just kind of got the magic bug, and we used to go there 5 times a year, and every time I went, I wanted to buy a new effect or something to keep me busy.
So it's funny how Disney has affected so many of us, huh?
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah. And so what was your first trick that you learned?
So the first trick that I learned that most people see is it's called a sponge ball effect, where these balls disappear in your hand and reappear in the participant's hand, and that's when I first saw that, I thought, man, if I could just do that one trick.
I do that same trick.
Yeah. Well, what kind of? Yeah. Well,
This
that's
is the
another-
afternoon show.
So you've been on a lot of tours and had a lot of shows. What kind of shows tell us about some of your shows you've done.
So I generally, I've spent some time with Masters of Illusion show doing some close-up magic on tour with them. Had the opportunity last year to go with them. Just helped with a friend on the television show coming up on the CW this fall. And also, I've spent a lot of my time, as we mentioned that I've been in the pharmaceutical biotech industry.
Right.
I've used, I guess, my comedy and magic talents, I guess you would say, for charity. And so that's where I spend a lot of my time outside of the wife and the 3 kids is helping out organizations
You
like
don't
Fast
look old
for
enough to have
Kids
3 kids. What are you talking about?
I'm older than I look.
But you've also been on a lot of reality shows. You were saying you're an MC for...
Well, yeah.
He shakes his head no. Wait a minute. The beauty pageants. Remember you were talking about beauty pageants, the connections?
Yeah, so the beauty pageants didn't make it, the pilots didn't make it through.
Oh.
However, but the experience of working as an MC and host for beauty pageant here in Nevada was an interesting experience.
Well, you said a lot of what we see on the reality shows is really what happens.
My experience working for this beauty pageant, it is what
You ever grab
kinda
any of them
see.
broads?
Hey.
No, because they were kids.
So, where are you performing next in Las Vegas?
So I've worked for Fast for Kids organizations. I do stuff with the American Cancer Society. Also working. I just did a show. Had the opportunity to work with Pia Perez and open for Rich Little at a charity event at the Hilton. So
Right. And then so you also give back to the community, like you said. You do a lot of charity events.
yes. So yeah, because my free time with the wife and the kids and in my current employment, I had the time to perform magic and comedy full time, and now it's spent with the kids, and then my extra free time is giving back.
Mm-hmm. So is there a website where people can find out more about what you're doing?
Sure, they can just go to kevinscottmagic.com, give me a call, and I'll love to help out MC and help your organization with entertainment.
Well, that's great, and we'd love to get you involved in WEMA, what we're doing, because we do different events, and obviously doing magic, you can do a lot more when you're on TV and instead of radio. But I want to thank you for being here on Sandy Kastel and Friends, and we're going to have you on again.
We're getting them on the festival, the Meatball
And
Festival.
we can get you on the Meatball Festival.
Yeah, we're gonna get. Yeah, you're gonna enjoy.
I'll
that
do the
one.
ball trick at the Meatball Festival.
There you go.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can't help you out there, kid.
Well,
You're on your
again,
own.
Jimmy said, ask my dad about the French facial, which I don't know if you have time enough to talk about it, but what is it?
Oh, well, when I first came to Las Vegas, my first job was to play jazz flute and alto with Frances Faye,
Uh-huh.
the lesbian act. And anyway, so I don't know anybody. I go on the band, and I sit in the middle of Jimmy Melodor on one side on baritone and Jimmy Cook, the leader, on the right side. And I didn't know they had a feud going. And anyway, we played jazz. Between the acts. And they were fighting all the time. And so they'd say, go out and play solo. And then they would be fighting back there.
Well, Dad, it's great to have you on the show and everybody here today. Thank you so much for being on Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show. It always goes so fast. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning, Monday morning. What is tomorrow morning?
No,
Wednesday morning.
Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday.
Thursday tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We'll see you here on KLAV with Chef Michael.
Yeah, I'm going home to eat a
Everybody,
meatball sandwich.
Thank you,
Thursday
Jimmy.
night
Thank you.
at the Italian
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, bye,
Thank
bye.
you.
Shabby shabakala.
Walks down